Hey guys, so welcome to a new video. I already filmed an intro to this video, but it turned out really blurry, so I'm having to do it again. So just doing a different shot. And so I just want to quickly give an update on the Hidden Fates reprint. So it turns out that it's going to be quite a small reprint, and most places are already out of stock for those pre-orders, mostly in the UK. I'm not sure on US or anywhere else that's being restocked. So my advice originally was for people to sell if they'd already bought. I take that back. I was wrong because it's such a small restock and reprint, and it's already out of stock with most pre-orders. Keep hold of your tins if you can, and yeah, so we should see that these would probably remain around the same price point that they currently are, with some of them going between 40, 45, 50 to 60 pounds. Some Charizards are going for, but yeah, if you've got them, keep hold of them. So that's just basically a quick update on the Hidden Fates. I know Magic Madhouse have six, as of filming this, six Charizards, which they've kind of really annoyed me by increasing the price point, which I don't think retailers should do. Chaos Cards, they have set the price as the original retail price that they were going to sell for, so £17 to £20 for the tins, whereas Magic Madhouse are selling them between 40 to £50, which I think is a disgusting thing for them to do, just because they know they can make more money from it, which isn't the original retail price. And I think Pokemon as a whole should stop those kind of them as being like official stockists. Secondary market, fair enough, charge what the hell they like, but as a main distributor on as a retailer, they should definitely not be increasing their prices, engaging or gouging the market in that sense. So yeah, that's my quick intro. On to the rest of the video. So investing. Me personally, I don't see myself as an investor in Pokemon, as such as I'm deliberately buying stuff so it goes up in price, sell it, and then make money, as much money from it as possible, which is what a typical investor does. My personal sort of nostalgic feel to Pokemon is what drives me to buy Pokemon cards. And although I don't really have that connection with the new sets as much as I do the original, which is where it all began, and that nostalgic feel of the Wizard of the Coast era, with the artwork, and the collecting and trading with friends. Yeah, that's kind of how I and why I do love Pokemon and why I buy Pokemon. I'll show you a bit later in the video what I've been buying, and you'll kind of get an idea of what I would buy personally, because not just because of investability in the future, but in terms of what I would consider a really cool card. So it's been noted quite recently, a different few sort of Pokemon investor YouTubers. I've been talking about some live guru investor people saying about investing in Pokemon, and this is kind of where we feel this sudden boom in price for Pokemon product, any era, has suddenly skyrocketed, and these gurus or investors, or whatever, they talk about stocks, they talk about bonds, they talk about all of the, shares and stuff like that in companies, and how to make money for the future. Typically you'd have a pension scheme, stuff like that, and that would protect you for after you retire from work. But these investors are sending a lot of people that have no idea about the hobby. They're new to Pokemon, they're new to collecting, and they're just literally buying up anything because they've been told to, by someone that thinks that they know exactly what to do. And it's kind of potentially where this inflation has come from in the sudden market for Pokemon. These newbies don't really know what they're buying, what they're actually collecting, what their value is worth. They've just been told, you know what, Pokemon's a collectible. It keeps going up in price. Suddenly more price now than it did recently. So they're just saying, just buy it and hold on to it, which is good advice. Buy and hold. That's what any potential investor would do. But I think the knowledge is a key part to the whole hobby, really, in the collecting sense, rather than just buying anything and everything, assuming that it's just going to go up in price because you've been told Pokemon is going to go up in price. But the same has been seen across Magic the Gathering. Sealed product has suddenly shot up in price because these financial gurus or whatever are telling people that this is a worthwhile investment for their future. But the chances are, if everybody does that and they all don't have a clue what they're buying, it's going to cause a bubble to inflate and eventually pop when someone with a big position dumps the whole market. So it's a bit scary time, really. You have to be very careful in what you're buying. I would never overpay for anything that's currently at market value, especially in the collective, the nostalgia stuff. It's just overpriced, way overpriced for what it should be. Maybe it will settle at those prices, and then we can kind of get a fairer understanding of what the value is worth. But a prime example is Ultra Prism. So there's been rumours that there is going to be a small restock of Ultra Prism. It's only been confirmed by one company in the US, so I'm not too sure if it's going to be just them, or like they've managed to pull a pallet or a couple of pallets of this somewhere, or whether it's something Pokemon have said is coming back around in reprint. So at one point there was literally no booster boxes in the UK eBay available, and the ones that were for sale were from Australia and Germany, I think, for around £450 to £500 a box. Now, since the news of a potential reprint, like again, it could just be a small rumor. I know this company had done the pre-order, so like I said, they might have found a pallet or two with Ultra Prism and shipped it. But the price of this has dropped quite significantly since the announcement. So, and there's more on the market now. Obviously, that announcement has come through in terms of the Pokemon community as a whole. So these were going for around 500. The price suddenly dropped to 390, then 350, and there's a booster box on there now for 260. So as you can see, that price is dropping just because people are trying to sell. To them, they're still making profit. They would have bought these at retail, which is what, £80-90 UK. So whatever they sell above that is all profit for them. So it doesn't matter if they've got a lot or not from it. But again, this is one of those products that has been announced that there could be a restock reprint, and the price is crashing already, which is just what happens with modern Pokemon and buying like new seal product. Now this I was supposed to open on this channel, and I never got around to it. I ended up moving home, and then I just never really got around to opening this, and as time went on, the price increased and increased and increased, to a point where it's made more sense to keep it sealed. And that's part of most of my product that I have, is that it was all supposed to be opened up, and I just never got around to it, and I kept it sealed. And then as I checked to see what the market's doing, I can see the prices have increased, so I keep it sealed, and that's just how I work with Pokemon. I don't literally buy anything purely for investment. A good example was a few years ago, 2016 time, I think. I had a import from Japan of the Ash versus Team Rocket sort of collector pack. These, I'll see if I'll put a picture up on the screen. Now I imported maybe 20 of these, and I sold them straight away for just above market price that they were selling for in Japan. And I sold all, but I kept hold of two. One for my personal collection and one just in case the price ever went up. But I sold the rest, and I didn't make a huge profit on that. That was just from a business perspective, not anything else. I mean, I could have held on to them. Now they sell for a lot of money, and I can't remember if it's something around the 150 or 250 pound mark per box. So that's crazy. The same with the anniversary CP6 in Japan. I still got a sealed box of that, and that has gone just absolutely berserk at like £270 a box now, or something like that. And that's just insane. I opened the first box on this channel, so I'll link that video in the description if you want to go back and see that. And I did pull a Japanese first edition Charizard in that box, so have a watch. That'd be quite cool. So yeah, I mean, back to the original topic, which was investors in the scene. I'd be very careful what you're buying, guys. And if you are new to Pokemon, try and learn some of the basics. Like, look at the eras of Pokemon. You know, you have the Wizard of the Coast and then the Pokemon Company. Learn about the card quality, the card prints that were run. There's just so much that goes into it. And they can't just say, oh, buy this, it's going to go up in price. Nobody knows. It's just not going to be possible. And a good example actually is this card. So this is Mew from Shining Legends. Now, this is a Korean version. I only bought this for about £8, and I thought it was a really, really good deal. Now, this card in English has gone like crazy. It went from around about £10 when it was first released, when people open it quite a lot. The card was about £10 to £12. Now these are £50 a card in English. So we all got caught sleeping on that one. So if you've got a huge position of this, then you're gonna make profit for days. But this card kind of came out of nowhere. Shining Legends is not even that old of a set, but it's one of those sets that is climbing popularity. And this card in particular is definitely worth a fair bit of money now. Would I pay £50 for this? No, absolutely not. I think that's way overpriced for such a recent modern card. There is a lot on the market, so I would probably look at spending that £50 on a more vintage selection, so something more from Wizard of the Coast era, and get something a bit better, like maybe a Blastoise base set or a Venusaur base set, something like that, for around that similar price point. So yeah, and that's just a prime example of you know what can happen in investing. A card that you wouldn't expect just shoots up in price. So yeah, what else is there to talk about? So I'll just show you some of the stuff that I've been buying. Hopefully that's some good advice for you there. Okay, so here we have the Korean Mew, the Shining Mew. It has got a nice texture to it, but you can't really see it too well in the sleeve. But again, I only picked this up for about £8. Really good bargain, I think. Definitely love the artwork. And it's one of those cheaper alternatives to paying £50 for this card. I have this card now, but it may be in Korean, but I do actually love the Korean text on it. And I'll show you another example. So here we have a Korean Lapras. This is the VMAX full art version. So again, there's a texture on there, but you can't really see it because of the sleeve. But again, for the colours were really nice. The text looked really nice on it. Definitely wanted to add it to my collection. And that also came along with these, which is the Mew Mewtwo GX. Again, Korean I got 2 of these. I picked them up at £5 a piece. Artwork is incredible. The text doesn't do too much to it. I love these symbols. Obviously means Mew or the 2. I'm guessing it means Mew because you have it looks like a little person with a little head and some legs and some arms, so it's pretty cool. And then you can see the ampersand and then the other Mew. So yeah, a pretty cool card. I got a couple of those again, £5 a piece. Can't go wrong. That's really for the artwork. It's just incredible. And again, it's one of the cheaper alternatives. As a collector, I'm not always about buying for the profit that I could see in the future. It's just kind of more of a case of buying the artwork that I enjoy and I love to look at. And that goes for all of these. Picked up a dark Alakazam. It's quite cheap. This is hollow. It's a very clean card. Almost PSA gradable if I ever wanted to go down that route. But again, just a nice clean card. Very cheap to purchase. A couple of other pickups. I got this Mewtwo from Legendary Collection. I'm not sure if I've already shown you this one. Again, just another very cheap card from what the asking price is on somebody to buy it now. So I managed to pick this one at an auction for pretty cheap. And then this one is the Legendary Collection Hollow Charizard with the star kind of hollow background, but you can't really see it too well. Again, quite a nice clean card. The back's a bit beaten up, but again, to sit in a folder full of Legendary Collection cards, it looks quite clean on the front, very nice and tidy, not too bad of scratches. So again, quite a good investment there, just to sit in a folder. Now this one I thought was quite unique. This is a German Machamp. You don't really get to see these too much. So again, you got that star hollow pattern, but the only reason I picked this up was the crimping. So this is what happens when the card slips in the pack before it gets sealed. So when the clamp comes down to seal the packs up, the card gets caught in the clamp and part of the crimping process, and then you're left with this crimped edge. Now, there is a bit of a market for these crimped cards. Not saying that I know anything too much about it, but for some collectors, these are quite valuable in terms of they love looking for error cards or crimped cards. Sometimes they would refer these as error cards because they've been crimped. And there is some collectors that will just collect purely crimped or error cards. Some most common errors that you get are the symbol missing in the old Wizard of Coasts for what set they're from, or they might sometimes mess up the text, or sometimes they missed out the character. But yeah, I thought that was quite a cool, unique card. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully some of that I waffled on a bit made sense. Just be careful. Keep hold of these if you can, considering now we know about the reprint and the restock isn't huge, and most of the pre-orders are already sold out, so the prices will probably stay roughly the same. Be careful what you invest in. Prices can crash. This has fallen about £250 from when there was none on eBay selling at 500 and selling at 500 to being sold now for about £260, which it's a big difference. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Please hit the thumbs up and I'll see you in the next video.